Media kit is really about branding, because when you think about a media kit, this is really what you want the world to know about you. You want the world to know about you, right? So start your notes with this. A brand is what other people say about you when you're not in the room. Jeff Bezos. A brand is what other people say about you when you're not in the room. One of the first things you want to add, if not the first thing you really want to add, is your bio. Your bio. Your bio is key because your bio is going to tell people your journey. Basically, you want to tell people your story of how you got started to what you got started with. Right? That's what you really want to use. That's what you want to have. Preferably, you want to take somebody through maybe like your woe to win story, or if you have a rag to riches story. It doesn't necessarily have to be money, but it can start off with like where you're from, how you started, and then what's been your journey through how you got into what you got into. All right. So number two, you want to focus on your topic categories. Your topic categories, meaning what topics do you speak on? What topics do you have expertise in? Right? So you have your major topic that you have expertise in, but then what are the subtopics under that you have expertise in? Meaning, if I'm talking business, right? So for me, the big category, the big category is business, right? But let me ask y'all, what do y'all think when it comes to business? What do you think some of my strengths are? Put it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. What do you think some of my strengths are when it comes to business? Specifically, because business is huge. There's a lot of different areas on the business. And let's read some of those off. All right. So you got productivity, we got sales and marketing, right? What else? Y'all been following me for a minute or part of the program for a minute, so y'all should know. All right, sales, marketing, right? Mentorship, influence and persuasion. Yep. Influence. What else? What else do y'all think are some of my strong points in business? Right? Public speaking. Right? So all of these are subcategories, right? And if I really wanted to get into it, we could talk about automation. We could talk about ads, Facebook ads. We could talk about email marketing. All of those are skills, right? So your goal is if somebody is potentially going to do a cover story on you or hire you for a speaking engagement, they would need to know what areas you specialize in. So for you, like this is business, but for you, it might be leadership. It might be confidence. It might be, it might be resume building. It might be weightlifting. It might be, nutrition, supplements, right? So these are areas that if somebody wanted to cover you or want you to speak on it, they can immediately and quickly see, okay, this is the strength of this person. Does that make sense? So let's do that right now. So let's do for the first two that we just went through. Let's go ahead and take, it doesn't take that long, right? But actually for this one, let's just do for this one because your bio, just because we're on this now, I want you to write down what are the top 5 strengths that you have. Top 5. So then we're going to go to number 3. So the third thing we're going to look at, and you want to add as part of this media kit, once you got the topic, so now they know about you. Next thing you want them to know is, and I like to add this in, not everybody adds it in, but this, to me, this gives you more credibility. Major products and or services. Major products and or services. I like to add that in because that's going to, that's going to make a big difference, especially if you're looking to get speaking engagements. Because if I'm quote unquote competing to speak at an organization, and they got, let's say, 20 other people that are also looking to speak at, you know, the YMCA, for example, right? If I got my product, if I got my major products and services available on my media kit, on my press kit, I'm gonna have more credibility than you, because there's a difference between you being able to speak on, let's say, success, life and success, and it's a big difference of the guy who has the workshops on it. Different, it's a difference than a person or the man or the woman who has, you know, you do events on it or you have courses on it. Imagine you got a certification course, right? If I'm teaching business and you teaching business, and I got workshops on it, I got courses on it, I got books on it, and you just speak on the topic, who has more credibility? Who has more credibility, right? I'm gonna have more, I'm gonna be perceived to have more credibility than you because of the other things that I have going on. So I like to add major products and services. So you will create your own page of what products and major products and services that you have. For us, automatically, we have a coaching program. So all of the topics that you mentioned, you know, productivity, sales, resume building, all of those things we mentioned, now you instantly got a leg up on somebody else who wants press, or you have a leg up on somebody else who for that who to get that speaking engagement, because now you're not just a speaker on that topic. You have other assets. Does that make sense? So the big areas of your products or services are typically going to be this. In our industry is going to be this. Right? So it's typically going to be, if you have any kind of coaching programs, which all of us obviously have a coaching program, it's going to be like if you do a live event. So whatever your live event is, that live event could also be virtual, so that counts. It could be any kind of course that you have. So if you have like a certification course, or even if you just have a regular 12-week course or 6-week course or 7-day course or whatever, that's more credibility. You got a course. If you have any kind of books / ebooks, that counts. Right? So your goal is any kind of major products or services that you have, I would list those. I would have a separate page just for that and list it out. Make sense? All right. So that's number 3. So let's do so write this down. So let's pause for a second. And I want you to write down, what are the major product or services that you have? Right? Let's take another 2 minutes, and I want you to write down, what are the major products or services that you have? And write out the name of it. So if it's your book, write out the name of the book. If it's your coaching program, write out the name of your coaching program. If you don't know what it is, just write whatever the outcome is of the coaching program. So if you don't know the name of it and you help people, you know, start their businesses, just put, you know, start your business coaching program for now, because I just want us to write it out. But I'm gonna put 2 minutes on the clock, and I want you to write out, what are the major products or services that you have? All right, 2 minutes on the clock. And go. All right, let's move to number 4. Fourth major thing you want to add, and this one is going to be pretty important too. This has a lot to do with psychology. Is number 4 is credibility. You want to add credibility. So if you have any kind of credibility, that's something that you want to add, maybe on its own page. Here's a few. This is something that we used to seeing on websites. We used to seeing on, if you ever seen a media kit, right? You know, you're used to seeing this, but definitely on websites, this is going to be super familiar to you. So here's some examples of what this looks like, right? So maybe like a past client list. So remember we talked about, like, so you see people, you know, you go on websites, you see that they work with Delta, they worked with the Boys and Girls Club, right? You usually see this on websites. And you can actually get the logos and all that stuff. It's not that hard to go online and get it, but typically it's going to be past client list. It's going to be any kind of testimonials, any kind of pictures. So like if you see people, typically like if you take in pictures with any kind of maybe celebrities, or maybe you taking it with the mayor, or maybe you've taken it with the top person that's known in your space, it makes it easier for people to want to do business with you when they see that you have credibility in other ways, especially if you know somebody or if you've been affiliated with somebody in some kind of way. Even if you just went to an event and you took a picture with them, you can use that, right? So I would use that. Any kind of testimonials, you can use quotes. So if somebody said in your media kit, you're not necessarily going to link to certain videos, which you could. I think I've seen that before, but you typically could put quotes, and then you will put first and last name. So if you're going to do a testimonial, it might be Samantha Gray, and then it'll be you'll give a 1 or 2 line testimonial of what she said about working with you, or what she said about working with your program, what he said about the experience that has been with you. So client lists, testimonial, or influencer picks. That's going to be key. So let's go ahead. We're going to go to number 5. Number 5 is you want to add some photos and include a headshot. So if somebody's going to publish something about you and you give them a media kit, they need to be able to take that and grab some pictures from it if they want to.